Okay, as we get ready to dive into this call, I'd like to simply start out by talking about having clarity of your vision, clarity of what you're doing, clarity of where you're going. You see, the quality or the clarity of your vision determines the quality of one's decision. If our clarity is very good and we have no doubt about our vision, the quality of our decisions become equal. They're very good. They become the type of decisions that move us forward. We spend our time in the areas that's most productive, in the areas that brings the greatest return on investment. So as I'm sharing that, I realize that for many of us, we have a vision. We might have an umbrella of a vision of what we want. And there's certain exercise that we do at one of our trainings that helps us get that umbrella, but I don't use the umbrella as my clarity of my vision. Breaking it down into goals. A goal is a very clearly defined decision of where I want to go, what I want to create and accomplish. You see, without clarity of my vision, I have problems creating quality decisions. You know, it's my decisions can kind of be all over the place. It's kind of like that one particular game that you can play at I've seen it in different stores, but for sure like at a bowling alley, and where you shoot these balls and things at different things, and when it hits, it explodes and turns into lots of different ones, right? That's kind of how sometimes our decisions can go if we don't have clarity of the vision. We make a decision and then we just kind of want to go in every direction. We don't necessarily have something that keeps us honed in and lasered in on what we're doing. And I'm telling you, when leadership starts to go every direction, so does everything that's connected to them. So I'm going to challenge that for every person that's desiring to move up and be all that they can be and be those dominating figures in terms of their business and be the lender, not the borrower. Number one, have clarity of your vision. So much so that accountability feels good. For many people out here, you avoid accountability like it's a plague. You don't want accountability. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you're held accountable to what you're doing, because it's week after week after week. No, we're not hitting those numbers even close. And so accountability has no meaning. We start making excuses why we're not doing it. We're trying to, whatever. The list goes on. We're not going to go down that path. What I'm saying is accountability is huge in helping any person achieve anything they would desire to achieve. Accountability is a must. But accountability becomes powerful when there's clarity of one's vision. See, when you know clearly what it is that you want and why you want it, accountability is welcomed. It is something that we desire. We want it because we are committed to hitting this. And anything that can get us there, we're going to do it. We're going to take whatever needs to be done, whatever actions, whatever needs to be done to make this happen. You see, the successful people in the world don't have a head full of knowledge, so to speak. They have a heart that understands what drives it. They're not seeking to fill their head with more knowledge. They're seeking to understand the simple processes that it takes to be successful. You see, being successful means you have something in mind that you desire to do, and you do it with excellence, and you serve. And I'm just thinking of a teacher, for instance, somebody that's a great teacher. That's all they wanted to do. It's just they were obsessed with it. They just wanted to be a teacher, and they become one. And then they give it their absolute all. They're studying, they're teaching, they're learning how to communicate, they're learning how to serve. And after a while, they find that the students are moving up and they're ranking fairly high, and they notice that they're doing well, and that's being successful, my friends. That's being successful. Success isn't measured by money alone. Money is a way that success is often measured by, well, because all of us need it in some way, shape, or form. You see, you can't be a lender and not a borrower if you don't have money. If you don't have money, you become the borrower. But if you do have money, you become the lender. So in order to do that, money is important. Yes, I know there's some Christians out there saying money isn't everything. No, I agree. It isn't. Try living without for a while. Yeah, you know the rest of that story. Let's not go there. Let's continue looking at what it takes to be successful. What it really takes to be successful is to have so much clarity that it's easy to only focus on the most important things for that day so that you don't find yourself bouncing all over the place. You don't find yourself going in 50 different directions trying to solve all those other problems when really those didn't matter. Some of them would have solved themselves by the next day. Some of them didn't need solving, period. Some of them didn't deserve attention and don't need attention. I get to spend my time where it's most valued. I get to spend my time where it's most positive. I get to spend my time where the greatest return on investment is. You see, I only have 24 hours a day. And if I'm very clear about where I spend my time, I get to spend more of it in quality time with the people that mean the most to me. If I don't, I wear myself out. However, I'm going to also be very clear that nobody yet has gained massive success in any area of life without working hard. Let me not make shallow talk of this, of just doing the right thing and it's all going to be easy. It's no problem, no hard work. Yes, it's hard work. Very hard work, but hard work put in the right place creates 20 times the results of hard work put in the wrong place. Let me be very clear. You see, if you don't have clarity of vision, you can put hard work in the wrong place and not know you're putting it in the wrong place. I worked hard all day. I worked hard all week. Man, where'd all this money go to? Where did everything go? What happened? I know that's a terrible question to ask. What happened? Where did it go? What happened to it? Unfortunately, many people do ask that question. I don't know where it all went to. Ouch, man, that's a terrible thing to say. Like, really? Are you seriously telling me you don't know where it all went to? Okay, so let's start with tracking number one, and then we start looking at where's your time being spent. But unless we understand the clarity of the vision, when I look at where time is being spent, I'm not quite sure whether it's being spent in the right place or not. But if I have clarity of the vision, I understand the quality of the decision. I get to recognize, yes, it looks like this team is moving in the right direction for what they want. But without that, it's just another decision. It's just another project. It's just another job. It's just another phone call. I've, once in a while asked people to make certain amount of phone calls in certain areas, and I can tell rather quickly whether there's a commitment there. And if a commitment isn't there, then that it means oftentimes there's lacking of vision, even why they're doing it in the first place. So there's a time where people get to move up in that, and or it just isn't the right thing for them. And so we get to understand to play as an elite. Number one, clarity of your vision. Number two, work hard. Be focused, be committed. Number three is to be committed, all out commitment. A commitment so strong that you don't care what people think, because it's none of your business. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to give you the money that you might be a lender and not a borrower. They're not going to do that. So why worry with what they think? The only person you should be worried about is the ones that actually have not worried. Don't worry about anybody, but that you should be seeking is the people that have the ability to actually direct you in the direction that can help you create that type of outcome. You see, when people go from low percentages to high percentages of profit, it's nothing magical. It is just nothing magical. When the vision becomes clearer and clearer, the actions start to being put in places where they get a greater return on investment. So there's no more time spent. You're not working any harder. You're just simply putting it in the right place. That is, if you're working hard in the first place. If you're not working hard in the first place, then yes, there will be some hard work. But the bottom line is we get to where we're spending our time in a place where your value comes back much greater. Got to share this story again of the young lad that asked his dad, what is the meaning of life? And his dad shared a story or gave him a metaphor, and I'm going to share this best as I can. And I think it will amplify what I'm talking about of having clarity of your vision. So in this case, the son asked his dad, what is the meaning of life? And dad says, hey, I have something here I'd like for you to take to like flea market type of deal in town, and it was a small rock, but it was kind of a special rock, and the son recognized it immediately. He had it in kind of a safe, and so he pulled it out and gave it to him. Said, "Take this to the market, and when somebody comes along and wants it, just raise up 2 fingers and don't say anything." And so a lady comes along, old lady, and sees it, and she goes, "Oh, that's really cool. I'd like to have that for my flower garden. How much do you want for it?" The boy lifts up 2 fingers. She says, $2. "I will take it." However, he did not sell it. He took it and put it back in his pocket and ran home and said to his dad, "Hey, I could have sold this for $2. His dad said, "Okay, now I want you to take it to the collector shop, the place that just collects all kinds of artifacts and antiques and that type of stuff." So he did. That person looks at it and says, "Oh, wow, that's a really nice rock." He turned it around and really sized it up. And he asked, "How much do you want for it?" Boy lifts up 2 fingers. He says, $200. "I'll take it." However, the boy reached out, took it, went back home, and now he was super stoked. He went from $2 to $200. And he's like, "Wow, that's incredible. Dad, I could have sold this for $200. What, can I?" He wanted to sell it. And his dad says, "Now I want you to take it to a person that collects rocks." And he told him where to go. A person that collects valuables, diamonds, gold, and special rocks and rare things of that nature. He took it there. Goes in, and the old man looks over his glasses, looks at the boy and says, "What have you got?" Hands him the rock and looks at the rock, and then he quickly looks at the boy. He recognizes this is very valuable. Why would this boy even have this? He takes and he turns the rock over slowly, and he keeps looking at it. Once in a while, glances down at the boy and tries to figure out who this kid is and why he even has this, if it was stolen. He lifts it up, views it closely, slowly turns it as he's thinking, and he's looking at it, viewing it. And he says, "Would you like to sell it? I'm interested in buying. How much do you want for it?" Boy lifts up 2 fingers. The guy says, $2,000. "I'll take it." However, the boy reached out and took it, went home. This time he was ecstatic. He just says, "I could have sold this for $2,000. His dad said, "This is the value and the meaning of life." You see, if you connect yourself to people and a system that see your value, you have the potential of going much further in life. But if you're going to the person that wants something for a flower garden, that's all you're going to get as a return on investment. But if you're going to the person that sees the value in you, you have potential of setting yourself free. The boy never forgot that. That stood out to him. He understood that his environment, where he went, who he connected with, the systems he connected with, would have a large determining factor in how far he went in life. If he connects himself to a system that has the ability to create the type of income that he desires to have, he can create what it is that he desires. But first he must have a vision of what it is that he wants. Obviously, we will never do that without that vision. With that being said, guys, I encourage you, whatever plans that you have today, make sure that the actions you're taking are in alignment with that goal, that vision that you're doing. Stay the course. Stick with it. Yes, it's going to be tough sometimes, but I'm telling you, staying the course is a whole lot easier than bouncing, because there's no fulfillment in bouncing. There's no fulfillment in doing easy tasks and getting terrible results. You see, it's easy to do the things that are easy. That's fun, and it's actually kind of fulfilling for a moment because it feels like you're accomplishing something, but really you're not. And at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you start wondering, what have I been doing wrong? Well, I've been working hard. I've been helping people. Yeah, I understand. But it seems as though maybe a lot of that effort is being spent doing things that doesn't actually move you forward and in the direction that really is in alignment with your goals. Whatever it is, each moment we get to make the absolute most of that moment. So I get to be much more careful from here moving forward that I'm spending my time where value is being added to me, or value is being brought back, that I can continue adding more value to others. And when people don't receive value, we get to understand that principle that, there's more to serve. Another thing is, when I'm doing my work, I must make sure that I'm spending it where I know the return on investment is at its highest every single day. And if I make a bad choice, I just made a bad choice. I get to recognize that. Without blame, shame, and guilt, shift gears, make a change. I've got some changes to make. And I know most of us do have some changes to make. Hard work, it's very important. Working where it brings the greatest return on investment. Whatever you're doing today, whatever business you have, whatever organization you have, whatever leadership position you have, what are some tasks that would be fun to do, easy to do, possibly should be done, but really won't bring much of a return on investment? What are the tasks that make your palms sweaty? The things that should be done and could make a big difference, but you really don't want to do them. What are those tasks? Get after those. Go make it happen. Do what needs to be done. Put yourself out of your comfort zone. So far, that is kind of like being a ship out on the ocean. So far out, you can't see land. You need to be out of your comfort zone so far that you can't even see your comfort zone. Thank you, guys. Make it a great day, and do me a favor. As always, remember, don't settle for less than who you are. May God bless you.